When looking for swing trading opportunities, this is a very simple but rudimentary way to go about that. It's nice for when you are first getting started and just learning how swing trading works. So, looking at DWAC, over the last 3 months, there has been 5 or more opportunities where if you bought DWAC when it was under $13 per share, you had a chance a few days or a week later to sell it over $13 per share. Now, a 10 or 20 cent climb per share is not that much unless you are trading a lot of shares, but if you buy the $13 out-of-the-money call options of DWAC when it's under $13 per share, then suddenly, when DWAC moves above $13 per share, those call options can yield a return of 50+%. As long as you know how options work before you do it, you should be fine. They have that nice leverage that can amplify your returns. Of course, options can drop just as fast as they climb, but that's why you want to have a plan and stick to it. And also, at least with the option, you have a smaller amount of capital at stake usually as well. Now, what would happen if I started buying DWAC when it dipped to about 1280 and all of a sudden it just kept dipping? Well, looking on the 6-month chart here, it looks like 1250 is the lowest it's been in 6 months. That's pretty much the bottom safety net. So if all of a sudden I buy into DWAC at about 1270, expecting to make a nice return in a few days or a week, just like the other 5 to 7 times that worked out perfectly, but it suddenly drops below 1250, like 1240, 1230, I would worry, I would take the loss, I would get out, and I would reassess. Now, in the case of Rumble, because I believe in Rumble, and I think it's worth averaging down and holding long term, especially if you don't have too much capital in it at the time, I probably wouldn't care as much if Rumble started to drop below its normal rate, which it recently kind of just did. If you look at Rumble on the 1-month chart, you'll notice there, again, has been 5 or more opportunities where if you bought shares or call options of Rumble when it was under about $9.90 or under $9.80 per share, you had those 5 to 7 times to sell it when it fluctuated back up. Usually it would go to about $9.80 and then back to maybe $10.05, $10.10. A lot of opportunities to swing trade it consistently and reliably. Sometimes, of course, it even went higher. But, intriguingly, ironically, there was that occasion recently where if you would have bought back in at about the $9.70, $9.80 like usual, suddenly it dropped worse to about $9.50. Alright, that's alright. We got this support bottom here for that. But then it dropped even worse. So because Rumble has dropped more than it has the few times before that we've made this trade, we want to kind of check and see what we could be looking at here. And as you can tell, there are lower levels it could easily drop to. So again, if you are overly invested, you might want to get out and take your loss. But if you have plenty of capital and you believe in Rumble, you may just want to take the opportunity to keep averaging down. Instead of holding a few days or a few weeks, you may have to hold a few months, but you're probably still going to turn a profit at some point.